Makeup 101, a fully detailed base routine for a flawless base that will last you the whole day. Let me show you. Today, I have to accept the fact that I look like an egg. Skin prep. I did my morning skincare a few hours ago, but I'm going to show you what I do. And I go with this Bioma face mist for skin barrier. Of course, in the morning, vitamin C. I've been using vitamin C for a few weeks, not that much, but I use this one from Meisani, and I love it because it's the only vitamin C that has not break me out. Usually I was so scared of using vitamin C, but because every single one of them that I've used, I've had so many breakouts because of the vitamin C. But this one is so gentle and I love it. And then I go with this. I started using it recently and I love it for before makeup. It's the by Wishtrend Propolis Energy Balancing Cream. So good, so lightweight. If I'm going out, I will use sunscreen. Normally, I use the Bondi Suns one. Just a little bit because I'm not going out, but again, you have to wear sunscreen even if you're indoors because the sun. Primer, I think it's something that it really depends on the person. I don't think it's a basic thing that you need. If you prep your skin correctly according to your skin type, I think face primers, I don't think it's a must-have. But if you have really dry skin, if you need a hydrating primer, use it. If you have really oily skin, if you need a mattifying primer, use it. For me personally, I use primer, the Easy Blur in particular, just on my cheeks because I think that my pores are really visible. Me, because I'm always looking at my face and I see the pores. Maybe you look at me and you're like, girl, you don't have pores. That's fine. Me personally, I'm always looking at my face and I'm like, okay, my pores here are bigger than my pores here. So, I don't know. It's just something, insecurities and things that people have in their head that you may be like, girl, what the hell? Now let's go with foundation. It really depends on what kind of coverage you want or you need. Me personally, I would always go for the skin tints. They're the ones that feel the lightest. So I think these and me living in an island where it's really humid all the time, these are just the best. If I wanted to go with a little bit more of coverage, I would go with the Easy Blur. With 2 or 3 layers, you can get a medium coverage, but you can always go with a foundation stick that this will give you the biggest full coverage. But me personally, it's not my favorite thing. I use a mix between 2 skin tints because I am between these 2 colors. I put it on the back of my hand. I mix it with a spatula. But you can do it with your finger, it's not necessary. And I spread a really thin layer. Again, you can do it with your finger. It's just, for the camera, it's more aesthetically pleasing. But with your finger, it would do the same thing. One thing I have to tell you, you have to make sure with primers specifically, your primer and your foundation are based on the same thing. What I mean, there are silicone-based primers and water-based primers. The same thing happened with foundations, skin tints. You have silicone-based foundations and water-based foundations. A silicone primer and a water foundation, that will not mix well. The same thing happens with a water primer and a silicone foundation. They don't usually mix well. So check that before doing your makeup because sometimes it can ruin your whole makeup. You can go with 2 ways of blending. A brush or a sponge. And it really depends on what kind of coverage you want. The brush would not absorb anything, but the sponge would absorb a lot. If you want more full coverage, a brush. If you want lighter base, the sponge. I'm going to do half and half just to see how the technique that I do. With the brush, I like doing little touches to blend, just as how I would do with the sponge. Because when you spread, I don't know if spread is the word, but when you spread, let's just say that the word is spread, okay? Still get these little lines. I don't know if you can see them, but I can. See, you have really little lines that from far away you cannot appreciate, but you have to be really careful when it comes to brush application because you don't want stripes, you don't want lines on your foundation that will look ugly. So I like doing little touches just to make sure that everything is blended and I don't have any weird lines. And when you have your foundation blended, what is left on the brush, I like going into my neck just to make sure that it's not a big difference on the color. Now let's go with the sponge. Make sure it's wet but not dripping. And I personally think that the sponge is way quicker, so on myself I very much prefer the sponge. And what's left, I take it and I use it on the places where I think I need a little bit more coverage. It will be on my cheeks because I have natural redness here. Let's go with concealer. Concealer can be your best friend, but you have to be strategic when it comes to concealer. What I like to do is I use a color that is really similar to my skin tone. I use another one that is a little bit lighter to illuminate. I take the one that is similar to my skin color, and for the under eyes, I take a little bit and put it just really close where the darkness is. I take this color and place it everywhere where I need a little bit more of coverage. Like this, it's just to spot conceal. I don't like going all over my face with concealer because I use a skin tint to not feel heavy. So why would I put a heavier thing all over my skin? Doesn't make sense. So just where I need a little bit more of coverage, I would use the one that is really similar to my skin tone. Like this, really small spots. For the one that is lighter, I place it right under the other concealer. I put a little bit here to lift my eye. And I take a little bit on my chin to illuminate and a little bit on the tip of my nose. I will blend everything except for the under eyes. I want the under eyes to set a little bit for it to have a little bit more of coverage. So again, you can go with a small brush. I like these ones that are thick and fluffy. For spot conceal, you can go with a sponge, or me personally, what I think gets the most coverage on me is I blend them with my finger. So I take them and I take my time just blending everything. It takes more time, but I think it looks the best. Now that everything is blended, I go with the under eyes. And now that it's a little bit more dry, it will give me a little bit more of coverage. I go with the finger and then with the sponge because I don't want to poke my eye. Now what's left on the sponge, I take it and I put it on my eyelid. For the base, the coverage, I am okay with this. I like this. This is usually what I do. If you want more full coverage, you can do it. But me, I don't like heavy foundation. Not for every day. For special occasions, it depends. But it's really hot where I live. It's really humid, so heavy foundation will not look good. Contour, bronzer. It really depends on what you want. Contour if you want to snatch your face to accentuate something, to maybe you want to make your forehead smaller, or you want to make your face more snatch, or you want to make your cheeks a little bit more round, or your nose. Contour is an art that you have to be really subtle for it to look good on person. Because on camera, I can do crazy contour and it will look good like on this angle. But if I do this, it will look crazy. So it really depends. I usually go with bronzer, liquid bronzer. I like this one from Rare Beauty. It's the shade Mellow because it's in between a bronzer and a contour. It's not too warm and it's not too cool. So this is my preferred shade. You can go with a contour. The main difference is that contour is more on the cooler side and bronzer is more on the warmer side. I am a bronzer girl, and I feel like this shade in particular, it does a great job of mixing the two things. So I take it and I place it Do you see this part of my ear? So I do like an imaginary line here, and I place it here. Like here, and I go up, like this. Now on the forehead, because today we're an egg, and we look crazy, I put a lot on the forehead. Now for the nose, what I do to contour is, you see shadow here, because my nose is like this, like a pig. So you see the shadow here? I go there and I accentuate it. And I do like a little, not triangle, but like this. To accentuate my pig nose. When I was younger, I hated my nose with my soul. But now, I'm okay with it. Again, I blend it with a sponge. And I like the bronzer because it makes you look more tan, more healthy. It looks like you have a healthy glow on you. If you like looking like a ghost, that's on you. But me, I'm an island girl. The tanner, the better. But we have to be mindful about the sun. And for the nose, I just go like this. I'm not really careful when it comes to nose contour. Blush. I think I've said so many times what my favorite blush combo is. I use the She Glam Hot Topic and Rare Beauty Joy. And I like going like this. I use 2 dots of Hot Topic on the high part of my cheekbone. And then I go with a little bit of Joy because you know Rare Beauty blushes, they're really powerful. I do a little dot in between. And I blend it towards my cheekbone because I feel like my face is rounder enough to just focus the blush here. I just don't like how it looks when I put it there. Because blush is also a way of contouring. Contouring is not just with a grayish dark color. You can also do it with your blush, with your bronzer. Such a healthy glow. It looks so pretty. I love this blush combo. Who would have thought that mixing these two would be my dream in a blush? You can do whatever you want. If you have really dry skin, I would tell you that I think having dry skin is a blessing in disguise. Because if you had really dry skin, you can leave it like this and your makeup look glowy and beautiful, Hailey Bieber style all day. Me personally living in the place that I live, near the sea, very humid all the time. If I go outside without my makeup being set, my face will eat the makeup. It would disappear like magic. So I have to set my face. If you want to set, you can use 2 things, a brush or a puff. With the brush, you pack the brush really well. I like going with a really small brush to make sure that there's no creases like anywhere. Then you set. And I like using a brush. My under eyes is the only place that is kind of dry. It doesn't make my under eyes feel heavy. But if you want to use a puff because your under eyes are really oily, you take the powder, go like this, and then you go like this on your hand to spread the powder really well. You don't want chunks of powder on the puff. You blend everything and then you press the powder really well. It's not a big difference, but I feel the difference personally in my under eyes. I feel like this one is a little bit heavier. Then I do the same on my eyelid, make sure that everything is fully blended, and then I go and blend. I go with a brush and I go in between my eyebrows because with every product that I've put on, now that I'm going to do my eyebrows, I don't feel like the product will stick. Now I go with a puff and set my smile line. Now for the rest of the face, I with a really big fluffy brush, what's left on here, and I do little touches all over the face to set. Because I'm going over with powder bronzer with powder blush with powder highlight. Now with powder bronzer slash contour. I love this Alicia bronzer. This is the Tap Me Palette Duo in the shade Rub It Up. I take this brush that is amazing. It's from Reefer and it's the number 5. They're amazing brushes. They're my favorite brushes on earth. I take a little bit and I go with little touches because I don't want to move everything that I have underneath. And on the nose, I just go like this. Now, I forgot, oh my god, if there's anywhere where you think you need a little bit more coverage, for example, let's say this thing that I have here, I would use a powder foundation. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's a really long name, the powder foundation. Go with a really small brush and I do a little touch, or maybe I need it on my under eyes. I would apply it like this as well. Love, 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 love this blush from Natasha Denona. It's the Blooming Mini Bloom Glow Powder Blush. And it's, you know, glowy. It's glowy, it's not a matte blush. Go with this brush. And again, I do little touches. Being a glowy blush, it melts with the highlight and I think it looks beautiful. Highlight, of course, Rare Beauty. I get so motivated when I see that product is, you know, finishing, and so I'm like, I have to use it every day, so I have to finish it. I apply it on the nose. If you don't like on the nose, don't apply it, but I just love it, just like, boop. Especially with my nose shape, I think it looks goofy, so I don't know, I love doing it. Then on the high part of my cheekbone, see, with the blush, it melts beautifully. You know that I have to do my beauty marks. They're still there and I like them, so I accentuate them. I use this thing that you have asked me about many times. This was a eyebrow pencil thing, pen from Shiglam. 2-in-1 is the 2-in-1 eyebrow pencil. And I had this shade Espresso, I think, or Dark Chocolate. The eyebrow pencil, I finished it, so now I just use this. I don't know, I feel like the beauty marks have become a really signature part of my makeup, so I feel naked without them. For base, we're completely done, except that we need the setting spray. But I like doing setting spray after my whole makeup is finished, me personally. So now let's go with eyebrows. Eyebrows, to each their own with eyebrows. Every person is completely different when it comes to eyebrows. I used to do just straight powder eyebrow, but now I've evolved. The first thing that I do is I go with a powder eyebrow and an angle brush. I put a little bit of water here, just a little bit, to make this a little bit more workable. I brush the eyebrows upwards. I don't think I've ever shown you the complete routine of my eyebrows. And I just follow my eyebrow. I try to make them more straight. Straight, I feel like it's a little bit better for my face shape. It's also what's trending, you know, maybe in 5 years I'll be like, why do you make your eyebrows straight? But I would never shave them. That is crazy for me. Now I do the powder eyebrow just until here. I stop here because now what I do is I take this NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen in the shade black. Yes, I do little hairs. To make them more natural. And now with the rest, now with the end of the eyebrow, oh, me pasé! I try to make them a little bit more fluffy and not too harsh. Like this. Now I do the other eye. Eyebrows done. For eyes, I want the base. This was a makeup just to show you what I do with my base, but just do really quick. You know, if you know me, Diamond Bomb by Fenty Beauty, but one of the best beauty products ever made, if you ask me. I'm going to use this Ribbon Wrap Lash by Too Faced. I've used it once, but it was really quick, so I didn't put much effort. I do my mascara is just really careful and try to get all of my lashes fully covered. I like the mascara, but I think it's too fresh. You know, when you have a mascara, you understand what I'm trying to say. When you have a mascara that it needs a couple of uses to be perfect, I think that this mascara has that problem. I mean, it looks beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I think it needs a little bit of use, a little bit of air inside this thing to be fully perfect. I'm going to use this Makeup Forever pencils, the shade Whatever Walnut and Anywhere Caffeine. The names are weird. I overline, okay? I don't care if you don't like it. I do. So, and I have a double lip line, which is the shittiest thing. I'm going to line my lip just where the color is, okay? So you understand. I look dumb. And people with double lip lines, this is what happens. The pigmentation of their lip is not on the same place as the volume of your lip. You can see that the volume of my lip is like here, but the pigmentation is here. Because if I go like this, I'm sorry, but it looks like I have a dumb mustache. So I very much prefer going and overlining and looking like I overline than looking from far away. It looks like I drank milk or I ate an ice cream and I have a white mustache. So having a double lip line, just a couple of people will understand me, but you get me. And how I overline is just, I will show you. The corners of my lip, I don't overline because it looks weird. So I go to the corner of my lip and then I overline and go again to the corner of my lip. See? I very much prefer looking like I overline than what I looked like before. What I looked like before, I hated when I was studying makeup. Everyone did my lips like that and I would look so dumb. Oh my god, I hate it so much. Now I go with the darker color and kind of contour, just do the outer part of the lip. This from Flower Nose is the Circus series, I think. Yes. In the shade Macchiato. The little touches. For winter, this was my go-to lipstick. This Makeup by Mario Super Shine Lip Gloss in the shade Perfect Pink. Setting spray. I use these two. This one I use it for when I want my base to look more hydrating because it's a hydrating setting spray. For when I want a little bit more of glow. Today I'm going to use this one. But the Huda Beauty one, I love it for when I want my base to last the whole day. The base to stay like this. If I wanted this airbrushed finish the whole day, I will use this one, definitely. But I want a little bit more glow today, so let's use the Tarte one. I shake them really well, and I do like to make sure that I don't have any lines or anything. I go like this. Take something to fan yourself. And don't do any weird faces when this is drying. Like, don't move your face at all until it's fully dry. And we're done. Now that it's dried, we are done. I think this is going to be a really long tutorial if you ask me, but I wanted to explain to you and to fully explain to you every single step of the makeup because I take for granted that everyone knows makeup and that everyone spent their teenage years just watching Nikki tutorials, Jackie Aina, Jessie Perkins, just absorbing everything. But not a lot of people did. A lot of you are way younger than what am I. So I hope that this helps you. This is what I do. When it comes to base, I would say that this is my everyday base routine. The eyes, the lips, the eyebrows, it varies, but this is just fully makeup 101, and I hope it helped you. I hope you are learning with me. The only thing that I want for this channel is that you learn, because I love talking about makeup. I could talk hours and hours and hours, and I could do a video of 7-10 hours just me talking about makeup and what this product does and what this brush can do, and because I love talking about makeup. So the only thing that I hope is that you listen to me and that you learn something, that when you watch a video of mine that you learn. So this base routine, I hope it helps you. If you have any little tricks that you do and you want everyone to know, please let me know, because I love learning about what other people's routines are, and maybe something that you think is so basic that I didn't do. Just let me know, because I love reading about makeup. Hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Muchas gracias, niñas. See you.